Jake Porter, he's tried twice to become Secretary of State in the past. Now, last year he said for a bit that he was running for governor as a Libertarian. Then he dropped out to work for the Libertarian Party. Well, now he's decided to restart his campaign, and he's officially launching it today. Thanks for coming in. Why did you get back in?
People kept asking me to get back in, and we take a look at these budget crises that are plaguing the state. And these are not crises that have came because of natural disaster, became because of a bad economy. They became because we didn't properly budget. The state has spent more money than it's taken in, and it's all due to bad financial forecasting. And a lot of people are very concerned. They're concerned with what is happening. They're concerned with the fact that mental health facilities are being cut, sexual abuse hotlines are being cut, domestic violence shelters are being cut. Well, the budget continues to grow. The budget has grown by over $1 billion in the past 7 years under Republican administration. And it continues to grow, and they're cutting programs that people actually need the most.
Okay, so you get elected, what do? What do you change the path? How?
First thing you do is you go through and you do an analysis over each one of the departments and agencies that the state has. You go through detail. The budget is well over 1,000 pages long without getting into the sub-details of each agency. You go through there and you realize that a lot of things are to be consolidated, that are wasteful and can be eliminated, and that some things that you can actually just make more efficient as well.
The story previously talked about this $2.2 million judgment. Frankly, it'll be against the taxpayers the way it's set up for Kirsten Anderson's wrongful termination and sexual harassment suit. One Republican has called on the Senate Majority Leader Bill Dix to step down. Is that the appropriate thing to do? He was not actually in leadership when the initial complaint started here, but was there as things moved forward.
I'm not for sure if that is or not. I really don't know. I'd have to look more into the details of that specific case, but I don't necessarily know if that's the right or wrong answer. I think if I recall, that guy also had some political opposition to him as well.
Okay, moving forward here, let's get back to the state matters here. What's a fundamental change that you can make realistically in this political climate, especially you be coming in as not a member of the Democrats or the Republican, you're so a total outsider. What's something you can get done that you can promise Iowans?
Well, I can work with both parties on things. I can reach across to both sides of the aisle, and hopefully we'll have some Libertarians elected to the state legislature as well to join me. But one of the main things that I would do is go back and I would restore voting rights to everyone that's served their time and paid for their crime. In the past 6 or 7 years, only 206 out of about 20,000 Iowans have had their voting rights restored.
And there's a list that previous Governor Branstad had put in there that you have to get through all these before you can get them back.
Yeah, and then he streamlined it and it became a little bit more easier, so it went from 50 to 206. It's not easy at all, it's next to impossible. That's one thing that we can realistically do.
For those not familiar with libertarians, give us a quick thumbnail of how are you different than a Republican? I mean, if the whole concept is, in a lot of ways, smaller government.
Well, the Republicans want to regulate your personal freedoms. Libertarians believe that you should be free to live your life however you see fit, so long as you are not harming anyone else. That is the basic essence of the libertarian philosophy.
So that means gay marriage, all right, if you choose to do it. How do you get into things like abortion?
Well, abortion, you'll have libertarians that are conflicted on that issues. You'll have both some people on both sides of that issue. That's one of the more difficult ones.
So do you make any fundamental changes if you become governor to that?
I do not, because I don't think that's probably the role of the government. I think there's a lot of unintended consequences if we get into that. You could have men, if you put exemptions on there, you could have men falsely accused of rape. You could have women falsely accused of forcing miscarriage.
All right, Jake Porter, the newly re-announced candidate on the Libertarian side for governor. Hope to have you back here. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Dave.
This list just keeps getting bigger here, Sonia. So we have a handful of Democrats, we have 3 Republicans, now we have a Libertarian. A lot of folks to watch in the next year. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.